Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So despite all the lovely new books that I've purchased and I showed you in my last haul video, I want to do a page in Seasons. It's been a while since I've picked up this book and I love it, and I've done quite a few pages in here. It's got all my wax paper in on the pages that I've done. So I've picked this double page spread. Now I know, have I lost my mind? I don't know. Well, if you're seeing this video, you know it's worked and I've put it out. Otherwise, it's a massive fluff up and you never saw it. Alright, so what I've got to do this background and to make things a little bit easier is my Derwent set of pastel paint colours. Pastel Shades paint set, it's called. I love this set. They're smooth, they're easy to work with, you can put pencil over the top, they're just beautiful. So for our background on this, I'm thinking, if I put that over the top, you might be able to see. They've got coral pink, peach and lemon. Now I'm thinking we go from coral pink to peach into lemon up the page. So from the coral pink being at the bottom. So that's what I'm going to aim for. I've got my little bucket of water here. So I'm probably just going to use this brush, which is a number 6 Graduate by Daler and Rowney. Let's come in so you can see. And I think I'm going to start at the centre of the page, that way I can kind of get the gradient that I want. So let's take my paints, and I'm going to start with this gorgeous coral pink, it's called. So I'm wetting my brush. And then we're just going to get that going. Just going to put a bit of it on. I'm not mixing it at the moment. I'm just going to go straight in with this beautiful coral pink. Alright. So let's bravely go in where no man's been before and start filling this in. So we can decide then how far up I want this coral pink to go. They work really well in this book and the coverage is beautiful. I've had them for a while now. I mean, I had an email from Derwent as soon as they came out to say that they were new. I think I did a video on them actually. And I went straight over, I think it was for my birthday one year, my husband brought them for me. Went straight over and he got them. Okay, I'm making a bit of a mess. But that's what it's all about, folks. And what's nice about these is I can go back over and smooth it out when they're dry. So I'm going to go over those, smooth it out when they're dry, put more paint over it. We could pencil over it if we wanted to. But I've been doing a lot of these backgrounds in the Tales from the Enchanted Forest, I think it is, by Hanna Karlzon. So it's inspired me to have a go with this one. So I'm just going to do it up to this little mushroom and then we'll start blending in our next colour. Just so beautiful and easy to use. And we can build up that colour. Just going to wet that a little bit so it'll make it easier for our next colour. There we go. I think that'll be enough of that pink. I don't want the page to be too outlandish. So now I'm going to go in with peach, which is this one. I'm going to mix enough of that up. I normally use my water brush, but I've been fraying them because I've been doing too big an area with them. So hence the Daler and Rowney came out. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so peach, we'll push that in together. And because they're gradients of the same sort of colour family, they should work really well together. Oh, I've got that on the other side, so I'm going to have to be aware of that, because that's watercolour. So I don't want to oversaturate my page, so I'll be better doing layers and letting it dry. Although this paper is just fantastical. but that's what we'll have to do. So I'm just going to show you the centre bit. You don't want to see me faff about with trying to go in all those little fiddly bits around the picture. I'll do that off camera, let it dry, and then we can come back and do the colouring. They're one of the easiest paints I think I've ever worked with. These Derwent paints. I wish that they would bring out more sets of paints like this. Okay, let's get a bit of water. I'm going to push that about there. That will help us to blend our next colour. We'll go back over it, but when it's dry, just to get a smoother blend. And now we're going to go in with a lemon. We have a nice bright top to the page, which would be nice. It will go with our green froggy, if we do them green. Okay. We're just going to push those colours in together. Look at that, and even though that, oh damn, I'm in the wrong colour, even though that has just had one coat on it, already we've got a really nice blend there. So you will have to do more than one coat. So if you don't have the Derwent pastel shades, you can make your own with what watercolours or paints you've got. Do that bit there, and that with the Derwents is as easy as that. Look at that, how beautiful that blends. Just get some more, making sure I keep that beautiful bright colour. And I'll probably go in, well I definitely will, go in with a finer brush and go round all these little areas. But I just wanted to show you the colours that I'm going to use and how, you know, sort of far up I'm going to go. And just how easy it is to get a really big background space covered very quickly. There we go. So, obviously it looks a bit of a mess at the moment, but it won't do. Let's come out. We'll zoom you out a bit. It won't do. When you think about that is just your background, I will go, like I say, I'll go back over it. When the next time you see it, the page will be completely covered and the blends will be done so it looks much more subtle in gradient. But I hope you can see, there's a shadow there, isn't there? It looks like a dirty mark. Hang on. There. Hang on. That's better, isn't it? Yeah. So it will be a much smoother gradient and everything will be covered. Alright my lovelies, give me 2 minutes, or 2 seconds in your case, and I will be back. See you in a second. Alright guys, oh I'm sorry, I do apologise, just moving that light out of the way. It's still a bit damp in the centre, but it's predominantly dry, so that will dry even smoother. So I'm going to carry on, and I think I'm going to take a risk, folks. I think I'm going to do, instead of my traditional red, I think I'm going to do the mushrooms purple. So going from a deep to a light purple. The berries blue, then obviously the greenery will be greens. I think I'm just going to risk it. So I'm going to carry on using the Derwent pastel paints, and I'm going to use the lavender. If I bring you in, just so you can see this little set. It's a little travel set and it's gorgeous. So lavender, and again if you don't have that, but you have other paints that you could use, just mix some white in and make a nice, or more water to make a nice pastel colour. So I'm just taking some, and I'm using my Derwent water brush, which has got the fine tip end on it. And I am going in, let's do it folks. So I'm going to try and avoid the white bits where I can, but if I go over those, we can Poscarize them, or we can gel pen. So all of these mushrooms, every single one, I am going to paint with this lilac colour. And then what we can do is go in with our pencils and deepen up one side, and we can go from really dark to very pale, and it'll be lovely. There we go. So there we go. And you only need a base. It doesn't need to be perfectly painted. So every single mushroom on the page I am going to do purple. Okay, the little berries we are going to do, let's have a look. I think if we do those in cornflower blue, I think, so this one, cornflower blue. So let's get some of that. And then I'm going to add some more water to it, just so it's a little bit lighter. We do have, well no, we don't have white on this, we've got a very pale grey. Okay, so the little berries, and like there, I know I've missed a spot there now, I'm looking at the berries, but we can go back in afterwards, and you find that a lot with Hanna Karlzon's pages, because these double page spreads even, are very busy. There we go. So we'll have blue berries, which obviously we are going to be going over with pencil. You couldn't even see those last lot I did, could you? I do apologise. Here we go. So we've got blueberries. Don't have to be neat, just fill them in. They don't have to be evenly coated, because that'll just look even better when we go in with our pencils. Here we are. And this can make for a very quick, really effective picture. Well, I don't say very quick, it's a double page. It's not going to be uber quick. So all the little berries are going to be blue. There we go. Alright, so that'll be blue. What else are we going to do? Right, it has got this beautiful, it's called Storm Grey. I hope you can see that there, Storm Grey. Here. But it's actually more like a French grey. Look at that, it's more like a really nice sort of beige. So I'm putting more water in there, just watering it down. That will lighten it off. And we're going to do the stem of the mushrooms in this. And it just works really well. There's a lovely mushroomy colour. Again, if you haven't got this, I mean, I am going to be going over with pencil. So I've missed a bit there of background. Here we go. So I will do all the mushroom bases in this colour. Trying to avoid leaves and things. I'm just trying to show you. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry, look. I'm not paying attention. Right. So I've just got this Storm Grey colour. Storm Grey. And I'm literally just painting the... I'm so sorry. Painting the base. Oh, that was leaf. Oh dear. It's been a long first day back at... last week back at school. And first day back this week, and I'm exhausted. I did come home and have a sleep. Just literally have to have a sleep just to be able to function normally. Okay, so all the little mushroom stems, can you see what I'm doing? All of them are going to have this Storm Grey, it's called, on them. Okay, is there anything else we can do? No, I think that's enough for now, folks. And then, because you have to let it dry in between, and it's going to look hideous until we start, let me centralise it and come out, until we start putting our pencil work on, it's just going to look really hideous. So you're just going to have to trust me that when we actually start putting pencil work over the top of this watercolour base, it's just going to look fantastic. So I am, yeah, let's go off, and I'm going to do the mushroom base with that Storm Grey, all the mushrooms with the lavender, and all the berries with the cornflower blue. And then I might actually use, they've got a really beautiful green here called artichoke. I might use the artichoke, this one, and it looks like that, to give us an underbase on the leaves. But I'll let you know, well, you'll see obviously. Alright, give me a second and I'll see you there. Okay then, you lovely lot, we're ready. We're going to use Prismas, purely because I get a lot of requests with people saying, can I use Prismas so that they can colour along? So that makes sense. We're going to have a look at these berries to start with, so let's come in and have a look. So these are the colours that I've got. I've got Indian Throne Blue 208 and Periwinkle 1025, and that's because we've already got the blue base down. So I'm going to take the Indian Throne Blue, where should we start? I don't know, this one. And then I'm just going to put a really dark base round that corner, round this bottom bit. Here, and then let it fade out lightly so that we can blend in our periwinkle over that, and then that should blend into that beautiful periwinkle that we use with the Derwent paint set. And then we can add a little bit of white highlight when we've done our colouring. There we go, simple as that. So where I think it's underneath another berry, I'm going to go a bit darker. Don't forget to let it fade out so you've got a light patch to blend into with your periwinkle, and then go back over it. And then just lightly blend that into that Derwent paint. There we go, and we get the most beautiful blue berries. Let's do this one, this is underneath there. A little bit more there. And then push that periwinkle blue in. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Really pleased with those. They're going to look really cool. Okay, let's have a look at our mushrooms. So if we start down here, the one that we're in shot with. So we've got dioxine purple, I think that's how you say it, 132, Imperial Violet 1007, and Lilac 956. So where should we start? Let's start with this little guy here. Yeah, he's nicely in shot. So I'm going to start over this side, and I'm going to try and avoid those little white patches. And I'm going in this really dark, rich, exuberant purple. It's beautiful. And we're going to bring that out. So as you can see, the Prismas work beautifully over this paint. They do tend to work over most watercolours, but okay, we're going to come up a little bit further. So that's our dark side. I've got a little bit of stickles going on somewhere. Yeah, I might have to put a couple of cushiony pages underneath. Alright, Imperial Violet. This will really shift our colour now. We'll start to get that really nice, bright, vibrant vision that I had for this page. There we go. Push those two in together. And then lighten it off. Okay, and then we're going to take our lilac. And we're going to use that to blend into, I think it was lilac, was it? Yeah, no, lavender on the Derwent paints. And just blend that in. There we go. How cool that's going to look. Isn't that going to look lovely? So we're going to have those dark, deep blue berries. Just having to go back over mine because of the stickles. Left it a bit lumpy. There we go. Let's do another one together. So, where should we start? Let's do this side dark. Around the bottom maybe. Now I'm not really going for realism. I don't see how we can on a page where we've got purple mushrooms and little froggies that have crowns. So I'm just doing the colour where I think it will look good. I'm never really very good at getting light and dark in the right places, so I just go for where I think it will look good. And my theory is that these are leaning more over here towards the sun, so that's how I'm doing it. I don't know. Okay, in with our Imperial Violet, let's get that going. So I do tend to backtrack over the colour I've already put down. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself for all of you guys that follow me and know how this works. Don't worry about the fact that I've gone over there. I will posterize them within an inch of their lives. Okay, and our lilac. So we backtrack over that last bit of colour and force those prismas to blend. Not that they need much forcing, do they, prismas? They blend so beautifully. Okay. Little purple mushrooms. Now, I haven't decided on the stems of the mushrooms what colours to use. Let's have a look. Let's come out and see. Now, I've got some prismas by the side of me. I've got my faithful browns next to me, so we could have a look. Let's have a look. I've got some very stubby ones, so I'd need to be sure. Let's see. These are the options that we've got. This is my Ruby Charms big book of colour charts, and it's got all my pencils and things in, and I love it. So, maybe I should just go off, do the mushrooms, and then come back with the right colours, so we're not sitting here and you're having to choose with me. That's probably best, like I normally do it, folks. Alright, so I'm going to go off and do all of the mushrooms, this mammoth task, all of our beautiful blueberries, and then we'll come back and meet up. See you in a sec. Okay guys, so it's actually the next day for me. I'm just moving the light round, sorry. It's actually the next day for me. I hope you can pick up the difference between the purple and the blue. I'm looking on my screen and I can't see any difference. But this is how far I've got. And I'm actually really loving how the background is quite soft in comparison to this boldness we've got in the front. So, last night when we left, I was going to look at the mushrooms, wasn't I? So, if we slide the page over and we look at this little guy, or big guy over here, and come in, there we go, let's get the book so you can see. So for this part I've got Espresso 1099 and I've got 20% warm grey. So I thought that might be quite good to give us some difference in the top of the mushroom. Okay, so let's fingers crossed this doesn't go wrong. So I'm taking the espresso and I'm going to bring that down from the top. I think I'll probably run that down like that. And then take the warm grey, wrong colour, take the warm grey 20% and blend that in. We can always go back in. Okay, so we go back with our espresso, and I'm going to really define those lines in between. Like that. So that's how we're going to do it. That will keep the appearance of the, I don't know what they're called, this bit, the underneath of the mushroom. But that's how we're going to do it, or how I'm going to do it. And then just push that espresso back in. There we go. That's going to look quite effective, I think, actually. So we're going to come down from the top, and then on that one side You know, they're like little frills, aren't they? I don't know what they're called. I love mushrooms. But I have no idea what that's called. Isn't it funny how when you start doing things that there's so many words and things that we just don't know about, or I just don't know about. So I was telling you yesterday, I think I cut it short, that obviously we had the first week back at school last week, and this is our second week back after the summer holidays. Oh my goodness, I'm exhausted. I know I'm always moaning that I'm tired, but I'm literally coming home from school on the days that I finish a little bit early, because I went part-time, if you remember me telling you, and getting in bed, going to sleep during the day because of the fibromyalgia, and I just find it hard to keep up, and sleeping till about, I don't know, 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then going back to bed again about 8, 9 o'clock and sleeping through till my alarm goes off. So it's going to take a small period of time for my body to readjust to being back at work again. It's nice to have that routine, but my goodness, it's knocked me for 6. And those of you that have emailed me and told me that you suffer with fibromyalgia too will understand that. It's just it can be quite soul destroying because there's so many things that you want to do and you just can't do them. There, I think that is going to look gorgeous. So for the bottom half of the mushroom, so that's the top, this is the bottom half, we're going to use sandbar brown and my stubby little putty beige. So we've got sandbar brown 1094 and we've got putty beige 1083. So let's do in these bits. Yeah, so if we bring that down, leave the centre out, and then just come around with the putty beige. It won't look too much different to the colour that we've put on, which is nice, but it will just sort of highlight those bits. And then in there we'll put that dark mix, which is the espresso. So we come down from the top, and then the grey. Is that going to work? No, I don't think it is. I think we'll go espresso around the edge as well. Yeah, espresso around the edge, and then maybe sandbar brown. Yeah, because we've already got that putty type colour in there. That's better. Okay, so we're going to miss out. What did we miss out? The putty then, maybe. I don't know now. I've said that. See the state I'm in? Exhaustion. Let's try that again. So we did espresso down here, and then sandbar brown. Yeah, that's good. There we go. Yeah, like that. And then the espresso in there. Should we try the grey? Yeah, there we go. I'm happy with that. Got a bit of stickles under there, I can hear it from that page behind. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So we're getting rid of the putty, and we're going to have espresso brown, or espresso. Then we're going to have sandbar brown, for those bits. Then in the centre, espresso. So we've got nice and dark there. And then we'll mix it in with the 20% warm grey. Yeah. That's good. That's better. So down on the base I was going to use the sandbar brown. So let's try that. And I'm going to bring that down darker at the edge. Let's just do it lightly because I might not like it. And for once, because I've been so tired, I haven't planned this page. We're just going with the flow, people, going with the flow. So sandbar brown. Let's bring that down under here. I'm just going to kind of bring it down in streaks. This bit will be a shadow. So, and this bit, I'm just going to kind of put just some lines in there for interest. Then let's try the putty beige that I've crossed out. Move you down so you can see. Let's try putty beige. I think it might be too similar to the colour we've already got, but it will help to blend. Actually, that might be okay if we go back in then with the sandbar brown. Okay, let's try that. Let's go back in now. Let's put sandbar brown back in. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. We'll have the nice dark underside, and then we can have this paler stem. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. And then we can blend again with the putty. So sandbar brown and putty. Just put some streaks back in. Some little lighter areas, so it'll blend in with that original colour that we put down, which I think was Storm Grey from the Derwent paint. Let's have a look. We could even use a bit of white. I'll put some of that in, just so we get some difference. Bit of difference in there. And just darken up these edges. There we go. I know it doesn't look much now. Where's my eraser? But when that, just taking that off the, when we get the whole picture together, it's going to look okay. So I'm going to put in a little bit of espresso too, just to bring out some of the dark areas, and just so it's not so flat. We'll just put some on the edges. Just streak that through. That's the other little mushroom there. And then sandbar again, just smooth that out. So that'll just give us a little bit of interest. That's my thoughts on it anyway. There we go. And then I'm just going to use the 20% warm grey. Can you tell I'm ad-libbing? Normally I'd go straight in there after practicing. So I'm just going over with the grey. I'm not going to worry too much about it. There we go. Alright. So, let's come out and have a look. Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to bash you. Here we are. So, I'm going to do all of the stems of the mushrooms in the same manner. So, I'm going to go off and do that, because there's quite a lot. And when I say I go off and do that, I mean, I know it comes back really quickly and it looks like the page comes together quickly, but this took me an evening just to do all the mushrooms. So, and I have put some white Posca on them just to bring out the dots, because I found it really hard actually to colour them, trying to go colour and blend it, trying to go around all the little mushroom dots. So I just put them back in afterwards. So I'm going to go off and do all those mushroom stems and then we'll meet back up. That way the video doesn't have to be a week long. Alright folks, see you in a sec. Okay you guys, apart from the mushroom tops, scrap what I said about the base, I hated it. So we're doing away with that. And I want to get this video out to you tonight because I am so tired. I know you're probably sick of hearing me say it, but I am so tired. And I'm worried that I'm just not going to get it up to you. So we're going to do the flowers. And the other reason I've scrubbed the base is because if you're going to do light colours for, say, the flowers and the leaves, the likelihood is I'm going to drag dark colours into it when I do the blending, so I don't want that. So these are the colours we're using for our flower. So this is Scarlet Lake. Excuse me if I spell things wrong. 923. Then we're going to use, I think this is Poppy Red. Nope, this is not. This is Permanent Red. Which is 122. And then we're going to have a shock of orange, which is Spanish Orange. And that is 1003. And then just on the tips and for blending, we're going to use good old cream, which really helps. Cream. So I do apologise about that. I actually went downstairs, stopped the video, went downstairs and I thought, oh, I'm just going to scrap the video, I'm not doing any more, because it's rubbish, and I started to feel really bad about everything and then not getting the video out, and I thought, you know what, we're going to do these flowers and then I'm going to get this video out to you, stop me feeling all anxious and upset about it. Okay. So we're going to take our Scarlet Lake, which is 923, and we're coming in here at the base, which is going to be the darkest of our colour, and we're going to fade that out around these little, are they stamens? I think they might be called, I could be wrong. There we go. Then we're going to take the Permanent Red, and again we're going to backtrack over that dark red and bring that out, but not too far. We're just going to give ourselves a nice blending area of this red. There we go. And then we're going to add the Spanish Orange. Again, we're going to backtrack over that Permanent Red. Okay, then we're going to go back in with permanent red, and we can see now that we've got a really harsh line. So I want to blend that in. So I'm just going to go in really lightly with our permanent red. And that will give us a nice line then to go back in with our Spanish orange. There we go. We go over this with the Spanish orange, really push those colours together. Bring that up a little bit further. And then we're going to use the cream. And we've got this beautiful fiery bright red flower. And I just felt I needed some brightness, so the page is going to be gorgeous and bright. And then I will go around the edges with a white pen to we need a bit of permanent red in there. Yeah, I will go around the edges with white. There we go. Just take your time and let it blend in. And just enjoy it. Okay. So we'll start that again. So I'll put my colours back here for you. A spare ticket. Put that out of the way. So scarlet red at the base. There we are. Then the permanent red. And I'm going to bring that up lighter. Make sure it's dark around those stamens, if that's what they're called. Okay. Then in with our Spanish orange. Beautiful colour. Yeah, so I knew it was going to get the better of me. I know I've talked about anxiety on my channel before, but when the mushroom stem, I didn't like it. I was like, oh, I'll do it in private. I won't do it on the channel. I just started to feel really rubbish about it. And I thought, right, you've planned the flowers, go in with the flowers and come back to the mushroom. And that's the right way round of doing it, because, like I say, we'll only drag dark colours in, and we don't want that. Okay, so I'm going in with cream, just making sure you can see all those colours. Go in with my cream, blend that. And then I'm going to go back in with that permanent red, just to help that blend into the Spanish orange. We can go back with our Spanish orange and really merge those colours. There we go. Now I think, just put a bit there. I think when they're all this beautiful, bright, fiery colours, this page is really going to pop, which is why I wanted to keep the background a little more subtle. And I think I've achieved that. Okay, let's have a look at the leaves. So I've got 3 colours. I'm sorry I haven't written them down, but like I say, I need to do this before the anxiety monster creeps in again and says, oh, don't do it, it's no good. You know, I don't know what's going on. I think it's tiredness mainly that's making me feel like everything's no good. So this is why I'm doing it, to get it up to you. So this is dark green. And this is 908. This is Kelly green. 1096, and then the beautiful celadon green. How do you spell it? Celadon green. So 1020, and I promise I'll be fine. It is just, I don't know, sometimes just things creep up on you, don't they, and just make you feel a bit rubbish, really. So I'm going to start with Kelly Green, and on this edge I'm going in with the Kelly Green here. I'm going to do the same here. Then we're going to take the celadon green and blend that in. So we've got a nice soft edge. Like this. Go back in with our Kelly green and just deepen that edge up. Because when you blend with the Prismas and you use a lighter colour, it does knock the colour back a bit. Okay. Then I'm going to take a dark green. I'm going to come up the stem. And I'm going to blend that with the Kelly green. Back in with the dark green. There we go. And I might just put a little line of it there, just so that stands out a little bit. Okay, so let's do another one of those. So we'll start with our Kelly green. Just checking that was the right one. Yeah. Yeah, so that little monster voice creeps in and says, that's rubbish. Nobody's going to want to watch that. This is no good. So I'm fighting that urge. It will not defeat me, people. So I promise I won't keep banging on about it now. I've said it, that's it. I just needed to give you a bit of an explanation that sometimes the videos take me a little longer than they would normally, especially when I get very tired. Okay, then we're going to go in with our dark green. Going to come up around here. And back in with our Kelly green. Okay. I'm just going to knock that back with the celadon on that side a little bit. There we go. So that's how those leaves are going to be done. And then I'm going to do these ones at the top. I'm going to turn the page for a minute. Let me get organised. Hang on. There we go. I'm going to do these in the same fashion. So I'm going in with Kelly green at, let's see, let's start with the bottom one. Kelly green here. Then our celadon at the tips. So Kelly green, and then celadon green. Okay, now down the centre I'm going to run this the dark green. I'm going to run that, can you see, all the way to where this leaf joins. Keep that green. There we go. Then we're going to put a little bit of the Kelly green in there. Use that as a blender to knock any of those white paper spaces out. And then just in the tips of these corners, and in between the leaves a little bit of that dark green. There we go. So we're going to have Kelly green, running into the corner and leaving this tip for the celadon green. Like that. Then we'll take the dark green and just run it in the corners and in between the leaves. There. Okay, so let's come out a little bit so you can see. There we go. So we're going to have this gorgeous pop of purple, blue, orange, and then our muted greens for these types of leaves. So for all of those and those leaves, and then we'll choose a different combination of greens for the other leaves. I think that will be nice because we've got these reedy type ones and then these leaves around the berries. So I think that'll be quite nice, and they merge over both pages, so it'll be fine. So I'm going to go off and do that, folks, and I will see you in 2 seconds. See you in a minute. Right, my lovelies, it's the next day again. I did try to get it done last night because I wanted to get it up to you, but it just wasn't happening. I was so tired. So I've just come home, finished this little bit, and I'm going to call it here. I think we need to do a part 2 where we finish the rest of the picture off so that I'm not feeling rushed and panicky, and I can think about what colours we want to use. So I'm really pleased with how it's turned out so far, and I hope you'll come and join me for part 2, which I hope to get up by the weekend. So thank you so much for watching and always supporting me like you do. I really appreciate every single one of you. So until we meet again, take really good care of yourselves, my friends. Bye bye.